And we're live. Hope everybody's doing okay. In the comments, I see that we've got Muriel and Jonathan, and I know that Colton's here. Today, Luke is not going to be able to join us, and also Jonathan might be coming late. He might not be able to join us at all. He's taking care of some personal things. So we will see. Hi, Adele. Welcome. We are starting today, as you can see in the ticker down below, we're starting in Joshua 8, verse 1. It's a new chapter. Just to recap, we saw at the end of chapter 7 that Joshua sent, 2,000, maybe 3,000 men into to Ai, the city, to attack it and take it, and they did not succeed. They were routed. And we found out that it was because of a Khan who had taken booty or loot from the destruction of of Jericho, and that taking anything from the harem in Jericho was, of course, forbidden. And so, Colton, you're on mute, so I'm trying to ask you to unmute. All right. So welcome. And so in this chapter, we're going to see them sending not a small division of the fighting men into the city, but the entire army. And they're going to use military tactics. Ooh. And they tell us a bit about it. And by way of preface, when I was 19 years old and just started my study of Hebrew, I was going to Ozark Christian College in Joplin, Missouri, and the professor the year before I arrived, his name was Wilbur Fields. Wilbur Fields was pretty esteemed in the school where I went, and not only did he teach Hebrew, but he also loved to go on summer excavations, and he went to the city of Ai, and he did digs there just after they found it. Or just after they had identified it as IE. So that's just some fun information. I never went, of course, because Wilbur was not one of my professors. He retired shortly after I got to Ozark, and my Hebrew professor was Larry Pachauer, who studied at Hebrew University, not Hebrew University in Jerusalem, but the Hebrew Union College, where Jonathan is studying. And he got his PhD, his master's and PhD from HUC in Cincinnati. His PhD was in inscriptional Aramaic. So I had an interesting teacher for Hebrew, and he was really encouraging. Anyway, so with that said, Colton, how was your week?
Good. It was good. Eclipse just had its foray into everybody's mind and heart today. So I was telling you beforehand that missed it here. We had rain clouds roll in right about the time that it started. So yeah, but I'm sure it's fresh in everybody's mind right about now.
Well, everybody I've talked to has survived it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk about it being the rapture period, the time for the rapture, and so I want to say shalom real quick also to Michael Burke and to Hebrew Torah 101. Welcome, guys. As we get started in chapter 8 of the book of Joshua. By the way, if anybody is on Patreon, I put the links up if you want to jump on and read with us. So any paid member on Patreon has access to the links, and you'll be able to jump on here. I can add you to the stage if you want to read. I'm going to remove our names just because they're sitting right over our faces, and it's not nice. And I'll take that little banner away. Don't forget, those who don't know, you can't forget if you don't know. For those who don't know, the Patreon site is patreon.com/thehebrewcafe. You can go get signed up and be involved in everything we do. So here we go. Colton, did you get time to read the chapter this week?
No, I didn't get a chance to look it over.
All right. So hopefully it's not too new for you.
Hopefully.
All right. You'll notice something a little bit different very early in the verse. This time I went ahead and left the traditional vowels on the Tetragrammaton in all of the verses. I figure we understand that it's the name of God and it's not Yehovah. We understand that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm going to pull up comments so that I can see them as we go along. The link is on patreon.com. Patreon.com/thehebrew-cafe. Okay, so do you want to get started or do you want me to start?
Sure, I'll go ahead.
All right.
Vayomer Adonai el Yehoshua al tirah al techat. Chak imach et kol hamilchama v'chum alei ha'ai.
Not whom.
V'chum, sorry, I'll
Whom.
break myself that eventually.
Because it's an audio distinction. Whom is brown.
Yeah.
Whom is brown and kum is get up.
Yeah, I'll break myself of it eventually. V'chum alei ha'ai re'ei natati bi'adecha et melech ha'ai ve'et amo ve'et iro ve'et artso.
Brilliant. I marked these ones because this is a construct phrase, right? Ama milchama. And because the accent here is munach and katon, and here we've got munach and revi'i. So munach is leading into it, which is why we're lacking the dagesh.
Okay.
And in this case, the munach also is leading into the next word, another indication that it's construct or smichut.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
All right. And the Lord said to Joshua, "Do not fear and do not it's like be dismayed." Is that the? Yeah. Take with you all the people for of the battle, every. Like
the people of the battle.
Yeah. Okay.
The battle people.
Yeah. And rise, go up to Ai. See, I have given into your hand the king of Ai, and his people, and his city, and or its city. Well, no, his city,
probably the king.
Yeah. And his land.
Good. Anything weird about the word I?
I have a feeling that you are going to tell me there is, and I'm just not seeing it.
Well, we would think, right, that you would just call it I.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
But they're calling it the I.
The
I. Even in modern languages like Spanish and even in English, we have certain countries that we refer to with the. Like in Spanish, you don't say Peru, you say El Peru. Oh. I believe. It's right? El Peru, I believe. It's been a long time since I spoke Spanish. But there are certain countries that you put el or la in front of. And in English, we used to say the Ukraine, which has been changed to today. We just say Ukraine, or it's got an E on the end. So it used to be the Ukraine, and now we just say Ukraine. But we still say the United Kingdom, and we say the United States.
Yeah.
So there are certain cities, countries, whatever, that you say the in front of. Even if you think of what's brought into English, Los Angeles, Los Angeles. It's still the Angels, La Ciudad de Los Angeles. Yeah. Apparently, the city has a really long name, and I don't know what it all is. Jonathan says that, no, this isn't Jonathan Beck, our normal contributor. Of course, it's Jonathan Santana. He says it depends on the context with El Peru. Like maybe you'd say Peru, maybe El Peru, depending on context. I don't know what the context would be. It's been a long time since I used Spanish. All right, so al tirah and al techat. What can you tell us about those?
Yeah, so they're negative commands, and so you can't put an imperative. Can't make a negative imperative with the imperative. Use the imperfect forms. It's the
so tirah is from 𝗥𝗓𝗓,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
yeah, 𝗥𝗓𝗓, fear, to be afraid,
Mm-hmm.
right? That it's the imperfect, right?
Yep.
Future. 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗓. Sorry, I have a cough still and not feeling so hot. 𝗕𝗓𝗓, okay, you will be afraid. 𝗙𝗘𝗓𝗚, don't be afraid. All right. And the other one, 𝗕𝗘𝗦𝗡, is from what root? Do you know?
It's 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗡, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. From 𝗕𝗘𝗦𝗡. Mm-hmm. That's the root. And this is the nifal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the second tet here drops out. Only one. 𝗕𝗘𝗦.
Yep.
It's considered irregular, but 𝗙𝗘𝗦 is a common expression meaning don't be dismayed,
Mm-hmm.
like don't freak out, right? All right. 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗦𝗡𝗥 את כל עם המלחמה וקומה. Great. Really, nothing else weird. Right? Any questions from the comments? Not yet. Okay. Okay. Verse 2. We had this 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗪𝗓. This gives us the first the imperative. Imperative, do it. Get up, go up. Like arise, go up. And this is it's like an accusative of direction. Ha'ai, to I. Go up to I. Behold or see, I've given it into your hand the king of I and his people. So it starts an imperative, and the next verse, instead of using an imperative, is going to continue the sense of the imperative using a vav consecutive.
Yeah. That that's that construction of having those two verbs close together, the 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗪𝗓, is something that I don't remember what exactly it's called, but you see it a lot in Hebrew, where it tells you like the action and then like how the action is happening. And there's a specific word for it that I forgot. But
I think that the kum in that situation has the sense of like get to it.
Yeah, it's like a quick, and they might be called light verbs, or like where they just kind of help. It's not necessarily about getting up, but it's kind of taken on this idiomatic purpose of pushing, going forward, be quick, like
Well, it reminds me of what we commented on the word shamar, where we said that shamar, when it comes with another verb after it, doesn't need to be translated as he kept to do something, but it means that he carefully did something.
Yeah.
Lishmor la'asot, to keep to do, means to do something carefully. Like in the Ten Commandments, shamor et yom HaShabbat lekadesho. It's guard or keep the Sabbath day to make it holy. It means make the Sabbath day holy carefully, or do it carefully or diligently.
Yeah.
I think kum has the sense of like get to it. Like right. You're sitting around, stop sitting around, go to it.
Yeah.
And this is we like this in Jonah, where he says kum kra al ha'ir. Mm-hmm. Get up, cry against the city.
Yeah, it's there's a sense of urgency to it, though. That's the intent. He wants him to be quick about it.
Yeah. So he tells him to go up to the city of Ai, and then he says, "Ve'asita la'ai u'lemalka ka'asher asita li'richo u'lemalka, rak shlala u'vehemta tavozu lachem, sim lecha orev la'ir me'achareha." Okay, so first of all, the fun thing about the 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗪, that's the vav consecutive with the perfect, is that if it has third hey, that's a lamed hey, then the accent doesn't shift generally. Normally we say with the 𝗥𝗘𝗦, the accent shifts. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha. You shall love the Lord your God. right? Veshinantam levanecha. Okay, that's got a heavy ending. That doesn't count. But normally, the accent shifts to the end of the word.
Yeah.
But in the case of these third hey, it doesn't shift. It's not ve'asita, but ve'asita. Ve'asita la'ai ulemalka. So you shall do to Ai and to its king, or her king, because the city is feminine, right? Its king. Just as kasher is often like the Greek kathos, just as, even as, you did or you have done to Jericho. Notice that Yericho, okay, has shva right here. So when you put lamed with shva in front of it, you get two shvas together. It's the rule of shva. The first one reduces to e. Now you have li with a closed syllable, and we don't need a shva closing a syllable with yod. Right? So li richo. Same thing that happens with li honatan, like to Jonathan. Li honatan. And the same thing that should happen to the holy name, if the vowels were really this, it should be li hova. But we never see li hova. We always see la Yehovah, which is because this comes from Adonai. Mm-hmm. Great. Brilliant. All right. Liricho ulemalka. This is just like you did to Jericho and its king, and the feminine here is because Jericho is again a city, and cities are feminine. Rak shows a contrast. With Jericho, when they took the city and they took the shalal, the booty or the loot, whatever was captured from the destruction of the city, the instruction was to destroy everything. Everything in the city was to be under cherem. And this is what put Achan in trouble. But in this case, the rak here means but. Shlala uvehemta, its booty and its livestock, tavozu lachem. You will take, what do you say, bazaz? You take booty. I guess you take booty for yourself.
Yeah.
So, this is, remember, one of the sons of Isaiah was named Maher Shalal Hashbaz. Hashbaz. It's hard to write these letters this way. Maher Shalal Hashbaz. One of the children of, one of the sons of Isaiah, the prophet. So we have Baz and Shalal, and they kind of mean the same thing. They kind of mean like the spoils or booty or loot, whatever you take whenever you conquer somebody. So you will take as spoils for yourself. Sim lecha, make for yourself or put for yourself an ambush, orev la'ir, like an ambush for the city behind it, like on the other side of it. Right? Mm-hmm. So we've got our instructions for this city are a bit different, because if Achan had taken something of the spoils of Ai, he wouldn't have gotten in trouble. I see Adele is there. Hi. Hello, Adele.
Hey, how are you?
You could have told me you're sitting down there. I didn't see you.
I've been there. No problem.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us. So if he had taken from Ai once he had received instructions that it was allowable, he wouldn't have gotten in trouble. But because he took from Jericho, he got himself in big trouble that we read about in the last chapter. Okay, verse 3. You want to read this, Adele?
Sure. ויגם יהושע וכל העם המלחמה לעלות העי ויבחר יהושע 30,000 איש, גבורי החיל וישלחם לילה. And
This is
Yehoshua,
Giborei. Giborei HaChayil.
גיבורי החיל. Like, yeah,
Right.
Eshet Chayil. Eshet Chayil is in Ruth, I think, right?
Yeah, it's connected.
So Yehoshua got up, and all his people, the people of war, and went up to Ai, and he Yehoshua chose 3,000
Not
men,
three?
30,000 men, gavori, strong men, and send them at night.
And so, like, maybe strong men of valor.
Of valor. Yeah.
Vayishlachem Laila. Laila would be an accusative time. We could say Balayla. He sent them at night. All right. Yishlachem. How do we explain that? Parse it out.
So this is 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗘𝗦 with second plural suffix, and it's called, isn't it?
Oh, that's third. It's them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kal.
Called
And
with third plural. I think second.
third
plural.
singular, masculine. Third masculine singular, 3ms. Third masculine singular, Yishlach.
Yeah, but the suffix is second plural, right? No.
Plus 3 MP suffix.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sure, yeah.
So, and he sent them. Great. Great. How did you pronounce the vowel in this syllable?
Vayakum?
Yep, good. Vayakum. And it comes from kum. Kum becomes kom. Vayakum. Great. All right. 30,000. Even though elef is basically a singular thousand, elef, it could be read also as 30,000. 30,000, 30,000s, but it's very common to make the singular form before like a singular noun like this, ish. Let's see. Hebrew Torah 101 says, took the devoted thing and became a cherem. That's true. That he took the cherem and became a cherem. That's what it says in the chapter that we read before. And that's a play on words. Absolutely. Any questions from anybody about these last 3 verses before we move on? I want to say that today we're going to have to end about 5 minutes before so that I can prep open up the StreamYard for the next session. I see we have 7 people watching, and I don't know who all, who besides Muriel, Adele, and Jonathan and Hebrew Torah, and Michael. Who else might be there? And Jonathan. So say hi if you're in the comment section. And like the stream.
Been working on numbers this week, just because.
Yeah.
It's just because it's so convoluted, but it's just different. One of the things I hadn't really noticed before is that in English we count down. We'll say 500,320 or whatever. We'll count down, but it will count up. So you have the 30 and then the 1,000 counting up through the numbers. I'm just like, all right then. But
I don't know what you mean by counting up and counting down, because I think
starting with the in Hebrew, start with the ones place and the tens, and then the hundreds, then the thousands.
Oh, I understand what you mean. They would say like 6 and 20.
Yeah.
That's how they do it in German.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. What do they say? 26. No, 6 and
Yeah.
20.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it's not so foreign, but it's kind of weird for us.
Yeah.
In modern Hebrew, we don't do that, by the way.
Oh,
but they
really?
also split things up. They might say like 5 years and 20 years. Like they might split it up completely. And also when they say 20 years, they're not going to say 20 years. 20 shanim. They're probably going to say 20 shana.
Yeah.
20 year. So they would say 5 shanim ve-20 shana. Interesting, but it's true. All right. Chapter 8, verse 4. Go ahead, Colton.
ויצב אותם לאמור ראו אתם עורבים לעיר מאחרי העיר אל תרחיקו מן העיר מאוד והייתם כולכם נכונים.
So it's vihitim.
Yeah, sorry, vihitim.
So normally, for some reason, with this word in the past, we say hayitim. We say today, but the biblical form more commonly is in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It's hayitim. Hayitim with like Elohim with the chataf segol.
Yeah.
So we have the vav with shva, and we have rule of shva, where we have two shvas together. So this one just simplifies, and this one becomes chirik. Viyitim. All right. What do we have there?
All right. And he commanded them, saying, "You all go up." It's the plural. You who are ambushing the city, maybe setting an ambush for the city, go up behind the city, and do not be far from the city. Do not be very far from the city, and you will be ready, and be ready, all of you. Yeah.
And you shall be, all of you, ready.
Yeah.
So today we use nachon, the word nachon, to mean right, like correct. Nachon. And ready is a nifal form, mukhan. But nachon is used throughout the Bible to mean like ready or set or prepared. So it's a perfectly good word. What do we got with Vaitzav? We've run into this before, of course.
Yeah, it's the Savav, the Sade Vav Hey in the Vaiktol. And
so what's the future? The imperfect?
The Yitzave.
Yeah.
And it drops the Hey because it's the short form. And you can't have a doubled radical at the end. So Jonathan asked the question, why does the first PL have a dagesh? Not have a dagesh in the second root letter, because the vav is now the last letter. You can't have a doubled letter at the ending the word. And so
what we would expect, obviously, would be vai with doubling, right? Vai yitzave. But third hey roots almost always, not always, but almost always drop that a off of there. Okay, and this one is skinim levi, where it's one of those letters with shva. We'll lose the doubling, vai, vaitzav, and we don't need a doubled consonants hanging out there like it's vayitzav. There's no doubling that just hangs out. It just closes the syllable and drops that. Vaitzav. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love this form. Very nice. I will say that there are other forms that, like in First Kings, we expect vaya'al. Vaya'al, he went up. Vaya'al. But we do find in a few places vaya'ale. Vaya'ale.
Mhm.
And instead of vaya'an, he answered, we would see vaya'ane, he answered. And there's no difference in meaning. It's just that in a few places it uses the long form. I think, Adele, you probably saw those forms when we went through Cook's workbook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anything else you want to comment on?
Question. I know that 𝗥𝗚𝗦𝗥𝗡𝗦 can be behind.
Mhm.
Does it always happen with the mem that way? If it's like the location instead of that's just a question.
For some reason, in Hebrew, we often use, like when you're giving directions, you actually say from the direction instead of to.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So, הדלת הראשונה משמאל. משמאל, from the left, actually means on the left. Like left is this way. On the left. Or מימין, from the right. But for some reason, the language uses from instead of to. So מאחרי would be from behind. Today we actually use מאחורי with a O. מאחורי. There's a difference between אחור. אחור is like the back part of something. So מאחורי something means from behind it. מאחורי. Because we think of אחרי as after and אחורי as behind. We've made a distinction in these two. Such a distinction didn't quite exist in the Bible, in the biblical time. But yeah, so מאחרי העיר would be like from behind the city, but it doesn't really mean from. It means like means in that direction.
Yeah.
Like that's where you're going.
Yeah.
So if you tell someone, like somebody says, "Where's the bathroom?" I work in a hotel, so where's the bathroom? And I tell them, "זה הדלת הראשונה משמאל, או מצד שמאל, from the left side." And you say from, and I don't know why we say from, but everybody says from. Yeah. Yeah. What about this להרחיק? להרחיק.
Yeah, it was hard to say. It's a hifil.
Yeah.
From Rahach.
Yeah.
And it is the second masculine plural. Sorry. And it's that negative imperfect operating as a negative imperative again.
Right. So this is another verb in which I would argue against the normal definitions of what a hifil is. People say that hifil is to cause someone to do whatever the root means. So rachok means far. So to be far, we could say lo litrachek. Litrachek is hitpael. Litrachek is to go far away, like to draw away from something. Okay, larchik is the same sense. It's not causing someone else to do it. It means don't go far away. Don't be far away. Al tarchiku min ha'ir me'od. Don't be very far from the city. Yeah, it's like lashmin. Lashmin, larchik can be. I'm not saying it can't be. If it has et, then it's להרחיק את האדם מן העבירה, to make man, to cause a man to stay far away from sin. This is פרקי אבות. Hold on, sorry. In the beginning of פרקי אבות. Are you aware of what פרקי אבות is?
No, I don't.
I'm sure it was somewhere in the beginning, but it uses that expression 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗘𝗦𝗢𝗛 to push a man far away from a violation, like violating the law. So you add stipulations that go beyond what the Torah actually says in order to keep someone far away from violating.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's in Masechet Brachot in the Mishnah. Sorry, it's in the beginning of Masechet Brachot, and it's talking about. It's asking why, if you're allowed to do certain mitzvot until the next morning, why did the sages say you have to do it before midnight? And they said to keep man far from transgression, from violation of the law. Because if you go to sleep at midnight and you didn't do it, the chances of you getting up before the sunrise and doing the mitzvah are very low. So the sages said, do it by midnight, period. You know?
It's like the another thing it makes me think of is like the don't boil not to boil a calf in its mother's milk, or whatever the phrase is.
Yeah.
So Orthodox folk will have they won't eat any milk with any meat.
Right. Right. And so להרחיק can mean to keep someone far away, to make them go far away from something. You can do that. Just like להשמין can mean to make something fat. If you take a cow and you feed it and feed it and feed it, you make it fat. אתה משמין את הפרה. משמין את הפרה. Para is cow. But if you say, wow, we haven't seen each other in a long time, mamash hishmanta. It means like you've put on weight, you've gotten fat. We haven't seen each other in a long time and you've put on weight. Just like the opposite, if someone has lost weight and you haven't seen them for a while, you say, wow, 𝗔𝗕𝗓𝗓. Also the hifil, from the root razeh, meaning skinny. Razeh. These are opposites, shamen and razeh. These are used in the story of Joseph, when Pharaoh had his dream, and there were skinny cows and fat cows. Remember? Yeah. So, sorry, I'm really sick right now. I have the flu, and so I'm sweating really, really badly, and I'm doing all I can not to cough. Galen mentions specifically 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗘𝗥𝗡 mishachen. 𝗥𝗘 is the imperative of להרחיק, and it means to stay away from an evil neighbor. Don't get close to a neighbor who's going to maybe do you damage or cause you to start doing things that you shouldn't be doing. Also from Pirkei Avot, like Galen mentions. Pirkei Avot is one of the tractates from the Mishnah. It is not. It's not the Gemara. It's not the full Talmud. There is no Gemara commentary on the tractate, and so it's sold in an individual volume. It has a lot of different editions, but I really like this one from the 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗚𝗏 publisher. 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗏. Really, really nice, and it can be picked up from Amazon.com if you guys are interested. And we actually did a study through it one time through the website, through my website. I mean, the Hebrew Cafe. What we did, if it interests anyone, was we went through an introductory grammar of Rabbinic Hebrew by Miguel Pérez Fernández, originally written in Spanish but translated into English, and we worked through the whole grammar. And then after we finished it, we went through Pirkei Avot together. Very nice. The Hebrew Torah 101. I don't know what your name is, so that's how I have to refer to you. Says it's funny that fat means healthy. Yes, it's true. Because if you have money, you eat, and then you're healthy. But if you don't have money, then you starve, and you get skinny. And so these types of word pictures came up in the text, you'll see in the book of Hosea, it mentions white teeth. White teeth, and this is a bad thing. Why are white teeth a bad thing? Because if you have white teeth, you're not eating anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that was a bad thing for them. All right. So anything else we could pull from this? I really love when verbs appear in the Hifil and they operate against what people define the Hifil as. Because it's just, I don't know, in my opinion, it's just not true. Like it's something that has to be learned by a basic student from the basic level. But once you've passed that, you have to forget it. Because it just doesn't represent the reality of the language.
Yeah.
All right.
That's one of the things that I've talked about with his name's Travis. He's a admin over at Biblingo. One of the things that he likes to talk about is like with the participles in Greek, and I think the same thing applies here, is there's so many, you learn categories of stuff that it could be, but he's like, there's so many, like those categories are unhelpful because because it's still not true to what the language itself is doing. And he's like, they're nice, like, and he basically said what you said. They're nice pedagogically for beginners, but it's definitely not the place where you want to end, because there's a lot more nuance to what the language is, how the language is using them, and what it's doing with them. But and there's a thing too, just like in my own experience, like I've gone from where like I look at a Hifil and I'm like, to cause to be far away or whatever, and I'm like, oh, so like to just stay away from it, like or don't stay away from it in this case. I'm like there's something about it where like the more you see it, the more intuitive that it becomes as well, and so
so regarding the opposite of larchik is the word karov, rachok, far away, karov, close. In the Bible, we see karov as a verb used as karav in the kal, and also in the nifal, to become close, and in the hitpayalit, karev. So karav, nikrav, and hitkarev all have the same sense of getting close. The Hifil normally is used of offering a sacrifice. 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗪𝗔. 𝗥𝗘𝗦𝗪 is to make a sacrifice, but sometimes it takes the sense of bring close, like make someone come close. Which normally we use it to the sense of the pia, 𝗥𝗑𝗦𝗪𝗔. 𝗥𝗑𝗦𝗪 is to bring someone close. But in the Bible, the PL and the Hifil really are very confused. Sometimes the Hifil means to sacrifice, and sometimes it means to bring close. Sometimes the PL is to sacrifice, and sometimes it is to bring close. It really depends on the context. So the Bible sometimes is less precise in its language than we are today. Funny, the next verse actually uses the word karav in the nifal. I was just looking, sorry. Va'ani v'chol ha'am asher iti nikrav al ha'ir. This is not nikrav nikra. Okay, it is. If it was al ha'ir, it would be we will fight for this over the city. But this is we will draw close to the city as they're going. There, Joshua and all the people that are with him are going to the city entrance. Okay, v'haya, and it will be ki yetz'u likratenu kasher barishona. Barishona means bapam arishona, at the first time. V'nasnu lifnehem. Nasnu is lanus. Lanus is to flee, to run away. So it's nasnu is the past. V'nasnu is the Vav consecutive, so it's the future. We will run away. All right, so from the beginning. And as for me and all the people with me, we will approach the city. Nikrav el ha'ir. We will approach the city, and it will be, or it will happen, when they come out to meet us or towards us, just as they did the first time, כאשר בראשונה, just as they did the first time, we will run away before them. We will flee before them. Okay? So this is Joshua's acumen as a military leader saying, you go to the back of the city and wait in ambush. Don't go far away from the city. We will go to the front of the city. Whenever they come towards us, we're going to run away, and that will draw them out of the city. And then we'll see what happens in the next verse. I don't think there's anything here that requires a lot of explanation. Just that I have argued a lot with Jonathan about the meaning of 𝗥𝗚𝗦𝗡𝗥𝗡, because he thinks it absolutely means to meet. Like he argues a lot that it means to meet. And I don't think it means to meet. I think it means, I think of it as a preposition towards, in the direction of. 𝗥𝗚𝗦𝗡𝗥𝗡 means towards us. That's definitely how we use it in modern Hebrew.
It's used in Aramaic too.
And it's annoying to me that a lot of Bible translations render it as to meet us, because they don't want to meet us. I want to meet you. They're coming towards us.
Isn't
they want to attack us.
The king Ahaziah, when he met Isaiah, not Isaiah, Isaiah, he met him, and the 𝗥𝗚𝗦 was used as he met him. I think we studied that together a year ago, wasn't it?
This is the thing. Sometimes it does mean to meet, and that's the problem. And most of the time I don't think it does, and it shouldn't be read that way. If we are doing masau matan, we're like trying to negotiate sides of an argument, and I say, im tavo likrati, if you will come towards me, ani avo likratcha, I'll come towards you. You come towards me, I'll come towards you. And it doesn't mean if you will meet me, if you will come to meet me. It means you come in my direction, I'll come in your direction. We're trying to reach a pshara, like how do you say? Litpasher. I'm losing my English words. Where we both lose something, but we both gain something and we agree. What is that? Compromise. Yes, compromise. We come to a compromise. So you come toward me and I come toward you. And so that uses the word 𝗥𝗚𝗦. But anyway, Jonathan and I have gone back and forth about that, because he doesn't like the towards idea.
Yeah, I don't know how anachronistic it would be, but I like the idea of like some kind of 𝗥𝗚𝗦𝗡𝗥𝗡 thing. They will meet us. We'll compromise.
They will meet us in battle.
Well, like they'll or like they come toward us, like we'll compromise. Like we'll make. Like I said, I don't know if it had that meaning then, but that's an interesting.
Well,
I think Hamlet also said that, like, meet someone that by chance or happen to see somebody, not like planned meeting, like encounter somebody, not really encounter somebody.
Yeah.
Not really have a planned meeting.
So it makes you wonder to what extent the verb pagash is used in the Bible. Pagash is what we use for like just meeting. Boom, you met somebody, you ran into them. Pagash. It could also mean you like I met him, like we went to a meeting. Pgisha is a meeting. But anyway, we have a question or an opinion from Hebrew Torah 101. In my opinion, that would be a vocal shva on yitz'u. That's true. Due to the fact when the third root radical takes a vowel, the second root radical reduces. Yes, because it was originally yitz'u. Yitz'e, they will go out, or he will go out. Yitz'e. In yitz'u, they will go out. And when the accent shifted to the shuruk, yitz'u becomes yitz'u. But nobody really pronounces the vocal shva. It's yitz'u. ייצאו, but it is technically a vocal shba. That's correct. That is definitely correct. Good. I think that's everything from that verse. I think. So we'll go to Adele for verse 6, and I think that will be our last one today.
Okay. ויצאו אחרינו עד התיקנו אותם מן העיר, כי יאמרו נשים לפנינו כאשר בראשונה ונסנו לפניהם. That's interesting. So I'm gonna just translate on the fly here. So, and they will go after us till we tear apart.
So no, often the going after or going out after means that they would follow us. Like to go after someone means to follow him. Just you know, they will come out and follow us. They'll come out after us. Okay, that's fine.
So they're going after us until we have drawn them away or turned them away from the city, or lured them away from the city.
But just notice that this is it's not a finite verb. This is an infinitive. It's an infinitive construct.
Correct.
It's
infinitive construct of he feel. Is that correct?
Yep.
That's it. Okay. Yeah. For they will say they are fleeing away from us just as before. So we will flee before them.
Yeah. Okay. Let's look at that infinitive construct and think about that. It comes from the root. Do you know what the root is? Yeah, natak.
Natak, yeah.
Good. And the noon is assimilated. Natak.
I haven't
today.
seen this verb for a long time. I haven't seen it for a long time, natak.
Is it something that you have in Arabic?
No, but I've came across this verb a few times, but I have a long time. I haven't really seen it for a while.
Well, we use the PL a lot today. Nitek is like to disconnect. So if you are on a website and you want to disconnect, you use the hitpael, lehitnatek. Lehitnatek is to disconnect or to log out. Lehitnatek. Also, nitek you can use for a telephone call. You can disconnect the call in the PL. You can, if something is attached and you want to lenatek oto, you can disconnect it, like take it apart. So in the hifil, hintik, the noon assimilates, okay, and you've got hitik. And so it means that the infinitive is lehatik, with the noon assimilated. Great. So what is the enu?
Us.
Yeah, it's like our.
Ours.
Our causing them to withdraw or disconnect from the city, right?
Got it.
So until our causing them to withdraw from the city. All right, good. Any comments, questions?
Yeah.
No?
It's good.
Again, barishona is a short way of saying bapam. Bapam. Pam is time. Bapam harishona. This is the full expression. Like at the first time. Bapam harishona is shortened to barishona. All right. All right. Fantastic. We are 5 minutes to the hour, so we need to get reset for Wine Green. It's been a pleasure to host everybody, and I hope that you guys had fun joining me.
Always.
It's great.
Galen is in the chat. He might join us for Wine Green, perhaps.
Oh,
if you guys want to join.
I found that the word I was looking for earlier, when the Hebrew uses the verb, like two verbs, one to talk about how it's done and what they did and how they did it. It's called verb framing, or being so. Hebrew's a verb framed language versus satellite framed language like English, which will say he. It like, I don't know what it is in Hebrew, but like David danced into the city, or David went dancing. It would be like that. Versus in English, we say David danced into the city. David went into the city dancing as he danced, and then
Nice.
It'd be two separate things. But yeah, that's what it was called. I went and looked it up.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we will start from where we left off next week. It's so nice to see you. We're going to jump over to the Wine Green session. It's on the youtube.com/the Hebrew Cafe. Just click on the live tab and join us. So we'll see you there. And you guys have links to everything on Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. We'll see you there.
See you next time.